Concealed carry, duty, home defense. Can this evolution of the Staccato C2, the 2024 Staccato C, truly do it all? That's what we're gonna find out today on Pew Pew Tactical. Guys, we're about to jump right into this video, but first, we would like your like, comment, good or bad, and your subscription to the channel. In exchange, we will provide you with yet another increasingly terribly cringy gun meme. I think it's right. Oh, guys, I'm sorry. Every video, they just keep getting worse. This is actually not the first Staccato C that has existed. A few years ago, there was a Staccato C. It was a single stack, kind of a 9mm 1911 type little gun. Great gun, a lot of people liked it, but then Staccato evolved and moved over to the C2. The C2 was a double stack version, and so then they had developed a new magazine with the Staccato P, and they had increased the magazine from 8+1 in the original Staccato C to a 16+1 in the Staccato C2. Then after the C2, you had the CS. That was the new flagship concealed carry model for Staccato that kept the similar size profile to the C2, but thinned everything up by having a dedicated 15-round magazine. This was built around the 9mm round versus the others were kind of adopted from the 38 Super as the original 2011s were designed off of. What's really cool about this 2024 Staccato C, it is the little big brother to the CS. You have the increased 4-inch barrel. It actually takes the exact same mags as the CS, which is really nice with the new redesign of these mags. They used to be 16 rounds. Now they're 15 rounds, and Staccato says you're gonna get an increased service life from each magazine because of decreasing that 1 round. Sweet. Jump into the ergonomics of this pistol. We're gonna start with the frame and talk about all the things that go along with that. The first thing you're gonna notice is this texture. Staccato has changed from the C2 and the P to this more aggressive sandpaper type texture. And as you're gonna see, what's really cool with that is it almost covers 360 degrees of the grip. You have just a little bit of space here and here where there is no grip texture. But one thing I really like with these 1911, 2011 style guns is they continue the grip texture all the way up so that when I take my support hand, I'm really driving and grinding that support hand in. There's nowhere on my hand that is not making contact with that sandpaper grip texture. Now in terms of carry, this is gonna be subjective for whether you like this kind of aggressive grip or not, but for me, using the Tenacore holsters that we were using to test this gun, I didn't notice too much rubbing or anything like that to where it became too uncomfortable. That's going to be personal preference, but in terms of the shooting performance that you get from this grip texture, I find it to be excellent. I never experienced my hand sliding around whatsoever. Even out here in Texas, my hands are getting a little sweaty. So I think Staccato definitely knocked out of the park updating this grip texture. The next thing we're going to talk about are the controls, these controls right here in terms of the safeties. So as a 2011, as most of you guys know, they have these two different safeties right here. This one up here is the thumb safety that you engage manually when you draw the gun or you present the gun. This is the grip safety. This portion should, in theory, just be activated by gripping the gun. Now, I actually started off my shooting journey shooting mostly 1911s because that's what I knew. I didn't know anything about any other guns, and I noticed over those few years shooting 1911s, depending on what I was using, sometimes if my grip wasn't perfectly locked in, the grip safety would not be engaged. And I actually very vividly remember one time at a match, I came up on a target and I started pulling the trigger and the gun would not go off. I could not figure what it was. My thumb safety was depressed and it was the grip safety was not fully engaged. So I have about size medium hand. So I'm gonna show you guys here just how intuitive these grips, these safeties are on this grip of the Staccato. So when you're presenting the pistol, you're drawing the gun, your thumb is just gonna naturally kind of be sitting in this position. What's really nice is you see right in here, there's a little bit of a gap. This gap, the way it's extended, makes it so your thumb is almost impossible to miss that safety as you're coming from the draw or you're presenting the gun. I really like this because having shorter thumbs, I've had a lot of difficulty with guns in the past that have, you know, really small or very difficult to engage thumb safeties. And I can positively say that this Staccato, it's positive enough that you know it's going to be locked into place, but it's not difficult to disengage the safety when you need to shoot. I'm going to show you guys real quick in terms of this grip safety, just how much you have to engage it to be able to shoot. What's really nice, you don't have to have it fully pinned to the rear to be able to shoot this pistol. Now, some people are going to say, oh, is that a good thing or a bad thing? For me, I like that I don't have to have the 100% perfect grip, because if my thumb relaxes just a little bit, as you can see, that grip safety starts to disengage. So I'm going to go ahead and show you, this is a perfect grip with it fully depressed. Obviously the pistol goes off. Now we're going to start slowly taking my thumb out. As you can see, it's not fully seated, but it's still able to shoot. We're going to come out even more. And as you can see, until I fully come off that grip safety, the gun's able to shoot. I, as a shooter, really like that for a few reasons. If I don't get a perfect dominant side grip out of the holster, I really like that I'm still going to be able to shoot this gun, and I'm not going to have to worry about coming up, presenting on target, and getting nothing but a mush. Let's talk about the magazine release. This is obviously important. This is going to be how you disengage and you remove the magazine from the gun, whether you're reloading it or you are clearing the gun. I had some difficulty with this magazine release just because of the shape of it. It's very small and circular, and it's very stiff. So as you can see, this is my dominant firing grip. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to reach that with my thumb without shifting my finger. And I typically use my third finger. I have a pretty difficult time engaging that, so I can't really do that technique. So for me, I have to flip this gun a little bit around in my hands to be able to really press and depress that. Even after 800 plus rounds, this magazine release is still pretty stiff. So one thing for you guys that have smaller hands, guys, if you have bigger hands, I don't think you're gonna have any problems with this. You're gonna be able to just pop that thumb just around, boop, drop that magazine, and you'll be good to go. If you have really small hands, like you wear a size small glove, something you may want to consider is dropping it with your support hand thumb. This is going to be a more consistent way as you're coming off the gun. You can just rotate and break that. I found that method to work pretty well for me when I tested it. However, I wear a size medium glove, and with training, I was able to train around just popping that gun, depressing that magazine release, getting a new magazine back in, and continue shooting. Another incredibly important part of the lower ergonomics of the pistol frame is the slide catch. This is how you're going to engage the slide when you're trying to clear the gun safely, as well as if you use your support side thumb, or I can't do it, your dominant side thumb to drop the magazine during a reload. As you can see, it's really nice. The Staccato has these little ridges here at the top, so I will go ahead and rack this to the rear. If I was conducting a reload and I didn't want to use a slide and I wanted to use this, what's really nice is after I put that magazine in and I start to just drop my thumb, there's no way that my thumb's not going to catch this. Because of the design, it sticks out just a little bit, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 little ridges there. You're going to be able to engage that, and you're going to be able to go right back into shooting. Now, I think the more important part of this is how easy is it for you as the shooter to lock the gun to the rear. Obviously, this in the 2011 design is pretty far forward. So you're going to have to substantially shift your grip. And then there's this nice little lip underneath here, which is great. You can really lock your thumb in there, push up, push back on the slide, and you're going to be able to lock that gun. The tension is great. Some guns, the tension is incredibly light. So as you put the magazine in, it drops home. Some guns, it's extremely stiff, and with the design of it, it's very difficult to engage. For me, this is kind of the perfect medium. I can put that magazine in, I just roll my thumb, pop it, a little bit of pressure, go straight in. So overall, I think the slide catch is really well designed, and for me, it worked really well. We're gonna move upwards and talk about all the things that are going in with this slide. So as I said before, this is a 4-inch barrel. So this is kind of your G19 size package with the 15 round magazine, and then with the 4-inch barrel, this is kind of your Goldilocks compact size gun. So when we're talking about the slide, you have these really deep, these are the Staccato X serrations. And in combination with the way that this gun is sprung, it's actually incredibly easy to manipulate the slide on this gun. I think that's beneficial for a few different reasons. One of the reasons is just if you are under stress or you have some stuff on your hands, you're not gonna have to really fight that slide too much. If you're trying to press check this gun, it's super easy to just roll your thumb over on these X serrations, press check the gun. But also for people who don't have as strong of hands, these serrations are very tactile and you're gonna be able to rack that gun very easy. And then in terms of the optics mounting that we have on this gun does come optics ready with Staccato's optic mounting plate. So when you buy this gun, you'll have to let them know what kind of optics mounting plate that you would like. This is for an RMR footprint. We're running this hollow sun with an ACSS. As you can see, what's really cool is it integrates the rear sight into the plate. So it's all one thing and you don't have to worry about taking out and moving around too many parts. It's all one plate. This rear sight is actually machined into this optics plate. I find that when I present this pistol, if for whatever reason that my optic goes down and I can still see through the window, this sits perfectly flush and it's kind of sitting in the bottom fifth of the window. And like I said, this is the hollow sun with an ACSS and it has the included fiber optics and it comes with multiple different colors. This one happened to have the green installed. And overall, I really like the ruggedness of this optic mounting system. It bolts directly to the slide and then you mount your optic to the plate. We didn't have any shift of zero in our 800 plus rounds shooting this gun. It got very, very, very hot. So that's really good. Overall, I think the slide serrations are great. I like the optics mounting and I really enjoy just how easy it is to manipulate the slide on this pistol. We're going to continue talking about this Staccato C, but if you want some more in-depth detailed information, I've actually written an article. You can click the link down below. Go to our website, check it out. If you're a reader, you might really enjoy it. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and do some accuracy testing with this Staccato C. We're shooting 5 different types of ammo. We're shooting some AAC 115 grain, Blazer 115 grain, MagTech 124 grain, Staccato 124 grain, and some SIG 124 grain V-Crown defensive hollow points. We're gonna do 5 shots each here at 7 yards. Sweet. So this Staccato C was originally 0 to 25 yards. So that's why you can see all the results of these at 7 yards. We're sitting a little bit higher above the dot. As we expect from this gun, incredibly good accuracy at 7 yards. All these groups are well under an inch, with our best group being with the defensive hollow points, which is the SIG V-Crown 124 grain. Basically all those are completely touching and one of them you can't even see because it's gone through the same hole. As you would expect from the Staccato, incredibly good accuracy, helped out a lot by the trigger, which we're going to talk about next. Let's talk about the trigger. This is arguably the entire reason why you're even watching this video or why you're interested in looking into a 2011 in the first place. Compared to your typical striker fired trigger with your creep, pre-travel, and then you have a little bit of over travel, maybe then the striker would drop. This is a 2011, so it's gonna have kind of a straight pull. So you're gonna come just a tiny little bit of pre-travel right there. You come to a very, very firm wall, little pressure, 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 and the gun goes off. So this is the reason why people love these guns. They are incredibly easy to shoot in terms of the tension and the amount of poundage that you have to put in, and you're just pulling straight to the rear. So if you apply the correct fundamentals with a trigger like this, you're gonna be able to get incredibly good accuracy as well as being able to shoot incredibly fast. So this is a 4 to 4.5 pound trigger as advertised by Staccato. They have different weight springs for their different guns. This one is, to be able to fit a duty roll, and a lot of law enforcement agencies have a minimum poundage requirement. So for this, I think this is about as good as you're gonna be able to get from a 4 to 4.5 pound trigger. It's just so good. I personally really enjoyed shooting this gun, and I didn't think that the trigger was too light to be safe, but I also found it incredibly easy to use, shooting at a distance, shooting it quick up close, some steel, maybe right after ripping some close up front USPSA targets. And overall, I really think the Staccato has knocked it out of the park with these 2011 triggers. There's obviously been some conversation going around the internet about the drop safety of Staccatos. This is actually not a new conversation. This has been a conversation for well over 100 years since we've had the Series 70 1911 design. The reason that we talked about for this amazing trigger as we come, it's just smooth press straight to the rear. There's no firing pin block, and there's a free floating firing pin in this gun. Every Series 70, 1911, or 2011 has this. Now, this is gonna be a personal preference. It's gonna be up to you. It is true that yes, under certain circumstances, with the safety engaged and with the grip safety engaged, if you drop this on its face on concrete with a round in the chamber, there's a chance that the gun could go off. That's just something that you're gonna have to weigh in personally as something that could happen with this gun. Many different law enforcement agencies have approved this gun for duty usage, and many people concealed carry these guns every single day. But we thought it would be important to include this as it is a possibility, and it is something that hopefully you would never run into as long as you are safe and you handle your guns well. Before we jump into the conclusion, guys, if you haven't already, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to the channel. Helps us out a lot. Let's talk about closing thoughts, overall impressions after shooting this for almost 1,000 rounds. I think that the 2011 is definitely something that you train to. If you're used to a striker fired gun, you're gonna have to get used to engaging the grip safety. You're gonna have to get used to manually depressing this as you come up from the draw. But overall, I think there's a lot of benefits. Specifically, I really like with this Staccato C, this 4-inch barrel. The reason for the 4-inch barrel is a lot of law enforcement agencies have a minimum barrel requirement, requiring them to have at least a 4-inch barrel. And basically, if someone can carry a Glock 19, they can carry this. It's about the same size, same barrel length, same magazine capacity and length. And I really like with the magazines that they have slimmed them up, that they've designed them specifically around the 9mm, and it makes the grip circumference just a little bit thinner. So I feel, you know, as someone with smaller hands, that I can hang on to this gun just a little bit better. It's also gonna help it conceal a little bit better as the grip overall profile is gonna be thinner. Our shooting experience was excellent with the gun. We did not have any malfunctions or anything like that. Shooting this gun, it ran incredibly smooth, incredibly well. And I found myself just being able to kind of point the gun and I'm like, yep, that's where exactly where I want the bullet to go, and it will do it. Guys, the thing around this with these Staccatos, you train to them, they will be able to push your skill incredibly high. Yes, you can shoot well with any platform and any gun, but I think if you've hit maybe a plateau in your training and you're looking for a gun that's gonna help you take it to the absolute next level, don't overlook the Staccato C because it can fill a lot of roles. You could definitely conceal this gun as we've demonstrated using some of these Tenacore holsters. You can use it as a home defense gun, or if you're in law enforcement and you were looking for a 2011 for a duty gun, but you want to be able to flex it into those other roles like concealment, I actually think that this is probably the best option that Staccato has to be able to do all those kind of things. Guys, thank you so much for taking your time and watching this review. We really appreciate it over here at Pew Pew Tactical. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day.